Welcome. This is the Film Inquiry Roundtable number 9, our favorite trilogies. My name is Kristy Strouse. I'm the editor-in-chief of Film Inquiry. And we're going to talk today about just our favorite trilogies. There's so many awesome ones out there. I'm sure it's going to be a fantastic conversation. And I'm joined by 4 lovely Film Inquiry members and a new face as well with Hayden. So if we could just go around and say hi and where you're from, and Jake, if you want to start.
Sure, yeah, I'm Jake Tropila, and I'm based out of LA. I'm a writer, editor, film inquiry, and I'm also the trivia master, hence the name change. It's legal, it's in the books. The state has a record of it. So yeah, happy to be here again for another week. And let's throw it over to our newcomer, Hayden. Welcome.
Hi, my name is Hayden Welch. I've been writing with Film Inquiry for a couple months now. I'm 17. I'm based in Wisconsin, and I'm glad to be here.
Good to have you. Young blood and new blood.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
How about Bailey?
Yeah.
Rocking the black.
Hello. I'm Bailey Jo, American, based in Japan, and I am a editor and sometimes writer at Film Inquiry, hoping to get back into that soon. And yeah, this is my 3rd roundtable. Very excited to be here. I love talking to all of you.
Last but not least.
And I'm Clement Obrapta. I've been writing for Film Inquiry for over a year now. I graduated from film school. I live in New Jersey, and I'm back to try to get the trivia crown this time after losing it in a wild upset to Kristy.
Yeah, that was a fun one. Bailey Jo took it last time, so
I don't expect to hold it at all.
maybe Hayden will come in.
Who knows?
Yeah.
We shall see. Yeah, we know nothing of what Hayden knows.
We don't.
Yeah.
Young Gen Z blood.
Zoomer TikTok movies. That's all I know about.
Wow. That's what all my questions were.
Well, you're gonna win. I've never been on TikTok. I feel old, but
Didn't Damien Chazelle, or that was like an Apple thing, right? He made like a vertical movie or something.
For T-Mobile, yeah. I think. I don't know.
Yeah. Hopefully that was like a one-time thing.
What a sellout.
Hey, I love TikTok. It's terrible, but I love it.
I know.
well, I'm always told I shouldn't try it because once I do, then I won't stop.
Well, you swear you watch it ironically, and then you just like at some point you just stop watching ironically, and you're just like watching it. And no one knows where that flip
Whenever
happens.
when my For You page gets like stale, then I'll get off.
Yeah.
And then like forget about it. But then something just brings me right back. I love it. So great.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, trilogies.
Right.
It's like Al Pacino in the 3rd Godfather film. A
Nice.
trilogy.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that
Nice
one.
tie-in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They pull me back in. I got to give a shout out to me and Jakey. I don't call him Jakey. Yet. No, we just premiered our Blind Spots podcast. Just to throw that out there, where we just suggest a couple movies to one another that we haven't seen and talk about it for a little while. So figured
What were the movies on your premiere episode?
We discussed Lee Janiak's Honeymoon and Satoshi Kon's Perfect Blue. So, yeah, each of us has a favorite film that the other person has not seen. We recommend that person watch it. We both watch our own respective recommendations, and we talk about them. So, yeah, that episode is now available anywhere you can get podcasts. Check it out, Blind Spots with Jake and Kristy.
Yes, and it's got awesome artwork by Jake that he slaved over for like, I don't know. So check that out. All right, so anyway, after the self-promotion, but it is Film Inquiry, so it is a Film Inquiry podcast, worth noting. So yeah, so it was tough for me because I started thinking about it, and there's so many trilogies that I love, including The Godfather, and most people that know me really well would actually probably think that would be one that I would say. But if no one else does, I'll just talk about it at the end. But anyway, I'm gonna have to say The Lord of the Rings is one of my favorite trilogies of all time. I love those movies to death. I've seen them so many times. They're just wonderful and rewatchable, and they're masterpieces, I think, of cinema. They do so many amazing things. Peter Jackson just does a terrific job, and it's just, the story itself is just amazing. And then I don't think I really have to go into too much about what those are about, because if you haven't, you know, watched them, like, just get no. But my other one is the Before trilogy, Richard Linklater. I have to talk about that because I love those movies, I think, for many, many reasons. But just as, you know, it's something that's very contained with these two characters, and it's feels very natural between Ethan Hawke and why can't I think of her name off the top of my head?
Delphi.
Julie Delpy.
Julie, thank you for that. Yeah, no, like, they have such good chemistry in those movies that it feels real, and it's also just a beautiful love story. And the fact that the movie shows each movie shows a different section of kind of their life, you know, their first meeting and that first day together, and then when they meet up again, I think it's like 9 years later, and then again, being, spoiler, but being a couple, being, you know, having kids and stuff, and just showing the different stages of relationships, but all with terrific dialogue and, you know, wonderful humor, and just, you know, it's one of my favorite romances. So I don't think there's many trilogies that kind of fall into a romantic genre. Maybe could be like told I'm wrong on that, but yeah. So those are my two picks. Obviously, Julie Delpy. Anyway.
Do you have any strong feelings about the Hobbit trilogy?
You know, so I like the Hobbit trilogy. Do I like, on the scale of Lord of the Rings? I feel like they're on completely different scales. I think that there's elements of it that I really like, but then it's just too much over the top, and it's too much focused on, unfortunately, like the ridiculous elves and dwarf, like, things that happen with them, like that whole barrel scene in the second movie, and there's just some of the aspects that just draw on too long, and I don't know. So I like it, but like, I don't hate on it like a lot of people do. I think it would have been interesting to see, you know, I think it was Guillermo del Toro. I think that would have been interesting, but yeah, I don't have like a strong feeling one way or the other on that.
Yeah, groovy. Yeah, and I agree about the Before trilogy. I think is a great, especially the middle one, Before Sunset, is superb. It's like just an 80-minute real-time adventure, and I think the ending is just wonderful. So yeah, go see that. Go see that
my
if you
impression
can.
of her dancing at the
Yeah.
end.
Her little party shimmy to, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So great. So I picked, I have several consolation trilogies that are obviously excellent, and I'll bring them up at the end if they're not mentioned. But I picked two that I really like. One of them is a straight sequel trilogy. The other one is more of a thematic trilogy, but they're all connected in some way. The first sequel films I picked are the Evil Dead trilogy. I'm a big fan of the Evil Dead trilogy. I like early Sam Raimi is great. He's just a lot of fun. And what's great about the Evil Dead trilogy is that you get a different tone for each film, and it manages all three really well. Because the first film is just a straight lo-fi horror nightmare, just all about spilling soupy gallons of gore and innards onto the actors as they're dealing with the demon possession in the cabin. Evil Dead 2, which is my personal favorite, makes a shift into a horror comedy that it balances really well. There's a lot of slapsticky humor with like Ash fighting his own hand in the cabin, but then it's also is scary at times as well. And then Army of Darkness is just a straight up medieval comedy, and it's just a lot of fun. You know, either you're the kind of person who likes Bruce Campbell basically doing Three Stooges jokes on himself in a windmill, or you don't, and I eat that up. So, and then the other trilogy I picked, the more thematic one, is Park Chan-wook's Vengeance trilogy, which is Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance, Old Boy, and Lady Vengeance. I think obviously Old Boy is the most famous of the three, but the other two are quite good as well. Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance might even be my favorite one. It just kind of deals with one of my favorite sorts of genres, is just a crime that goes wrong on every level, and it's just these losers trying to scramble to make things right. Like there's a kidnapping plot to extort this rich business guy for money so that this deaf guy can get a new kidney for his girlfriend. Yeah, everything just goes so completely wrong. And then Lady Vengeance is just a lot of fun too. But yeah, those are my picks. I'm gonna throw it over to Hayden. What are some of your favorite trilogies?
For narrative trilogies, I'd have to say Kieslowski's Three Colors trilogy, which is, of course, in the pattern of the French flag. And I think that it's just a really, really central Eurocore trilogy that deals with trauma and anxiety in a lot of different ways. And I really like that he used a lot of different actors and crew members from all over Europe. It does feel like an amalgamation of a lot of the tension of the time. And I think that it's really not a narrative trilogy until the very end and beginning of each film. So you sort of do forget that you're watching a trilogy, which I think is one of the more interesting bits of it, because you could watch it out of order almost, but you do get something that it builds from each film that I think is really, really nice. And for thematic trilogies, people don't really talk about this as a trilogy, but David Lynch's Hollywood trilogy, Lost Highway, Mulholland Drive, and Inland Empire, I think those three films thematically explore Hollywood in the best way. Lost Highway being about the kind of way that people engage in relationships in Hollywood, and Mulholland Drive being about power and sex, and Inland Empire being the destructive, like Hollywood kind of infrastructure. And I just think that they're all really great, kind of freaky, disturbing, fun mysteries that I think work really well as a trilogy or as their own films. So those are my favorite trilogies.
I hadn't even considered the Lynch, but Kieslowski's for sure is one of my consolations. It's interesting how each film has a central protagonist, and there's like a key scene in each movie where an old woman is trying to recycle a bottle in like this little container, and the reaction of each of the three main characters says a lot about it. Yeah, great choices.
Totally. Who's up next?
Yeah, Bailey, you want to throw out your picks?
Sure. So took mine. Evil Dead is like my biggest little franchise of all time. So, but I think probably second. I love the Kung Fu Panda movies. Like we were talking about Disney earlier, and I made a joke that like Disney's evil. And I would say yes, that's true, but also like people's perception of Disney is really skewed because Frozen came out and everyone made a huge deal about it being co-directed by a woman. And it's like the Kung Fu Panda movies, at least the last two, were fully directed by like Jennifer Yu Nelson. And I don't know if that's just because it's not Disney or because she's a woman of color, but I think each movie has like a very specific kind of sect of morals and lessons for kids to learn. And I think they all do it extremely, extremely well. Like the second one, Kung Fu Panda 2, where they talk about like inner peace, that hit me so hard in theaters. And the little kid I saw it with had to leave the theater because they cried so much. And it was very like, oh my God, I've never seen this before, where someone was this affected by a movie in a theater. And even like the third one's not as strong, but the whole thing of like yin and yang, I think is like, I think they're really great movies for kids to watch, and they're super fun for adults. And the It's kind of gotten annoying with Jack Black saying awesome all the time and skadoosh all the time, but I really have a soft spot for him, and I really, really love that he's been able to like take his like enthusiasm and put it into something that is geared towards kids. Yeah, but I love, love, love the Kung Fu Panda movies. I think they're a very, very good trilogy as far as like animated ones though go. And I guess if we want to go with like not like a thematic trilogy, I guess what would they be called? They're, I guess, like Gonzo trilogy, like 3 movies about Hunter S. Thompson, played by, so there's Where the Buffalo Roams with Bill Murray from the 80s, and then Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, and then The Rum Diary, where Johnny Depp plays, basically he plays Raoul Duke, and then his other alter ego from his novel, The Rum Diary. And I love Hunter S. Thompson. He's my favorite writer, problematic fave. And I love putting those on. Not necessarily Rum Diary, because it's a little tainted now with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard's marriage. But I think it has like that very core, like chaotic gonzo-ness of Hunter S. Thompson. And I really, really appreciate those movies. Especially like Where the Buffalo Roams is just really fun. It's fun seeing Bill Murray like become him. And then for years being like, I can't stop being him. I need to do other roles. Yeah, I'd say those are like the ones I'd like to mention.
Awesome.
Is Where the Buffalo Roam a straight comedy, or is it dramatic?
I'd say it is. It's very tame because it's I can't remember the actor's name, the one who plays his lawyer friend, Oscar. I can't remember the last name. They basically like whitewash him to protect him because I think at that point he had disappeared, but like to protect his image or whatever. I would say it's like a straight like bizarro comedy. There's some things that are like, whoa, but that can't be helped because his whole life was whoa. Yeah.
Looks like that actor you might be referring to is Peter Boyle, who was Frankenstein's monster in Young Frankenstein.
Indeed.
Or Frank from Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everybody Loves Raymond. Just a good show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Rum Diary is definitely the weakest of those. But some great choices there. And I also do love the Evil Dead trilogy. So I throw that out there. And and Evil Dead 2, The Laughing Deer is one of my favorite sequences ever. If you're ever just in a shitty mood, just put that scene on and it's bound to make you react in some way.
That's great. I think there's a chainsaw behind your shoulder, isn't there?
There is an
Kristy?
Evil Dead chainsaw, yes, right beside Han Solo and.
Ah,
Yeah.
very menacing.
I got a lot of horror guys over here actually. Can't really see.
Nice.
Their
Gang's all there.
names, but yeah, from Alfred Hitchcock to Hannibal to Simon Pegg. From
The greatest of the horror movie villains, Simon Pegg.
well, he's not a villain, but it is a horror movie. And then I have I don't want to knock it over, but yeah, there's the chainsaw. Sorry, it's attached to something because it's actually like a charger. It's weird. It was a weird thing. I get weird things.
Yeah.
I love weird things. All right, so.
Just wanted to say real quick, I'll have to check out the first and third film of that Hunter S. Thompson trilogy. I've only seen
Same here.
Fear and Loathing. I remember enjoying it. I mean, most of what I remember is just in the first scene where they're just speeding to things like, we can't stop here. This is backcountry. And so that's where I think where a lot of people enjoy it.
Yeah.
Or it was when I watched it last.
Where the Buffalo Roam is like probably the most realistic to how he was. Besides, like, I guess at that point he like completely abandoned his wife. not abandoned, but like he was on the outs with his wife. But it has him like in his home on Owl Farm. It has him doing crazy things with his lawyer buddy, and just being amazing king. I love him. Ultimate problematic fave.
I love how we've had such different picks, except for Evil Dead, but yeah.
Yeah.
Are you a fan of Evil Dead, Clement?
I really like the second two movies. I'm a big Army of Darkness fan. I love the bit where he can't remember the incantation, so he just kind of mutters it under his breath and hopes that it works. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a great movie. I'm really hard pressed with the trilogy thing because Paddington doesn't have a third movie, and there's no sequel to. There's no third movie in the Julie Delpy in her take on the Before series in the 2 Days in Paris and 2 Days in New York.
Great movies.
You know, she has yet to make a third one.
What city would you want her to go to?
Oh boy. Well, I mean, because one of my other favorite
Butte, Montana?
is Butte, Montana. Exactly. Flint, Michigan. One of my other favorite series is the Trip series, which is also like very much let's have a snapshot of a locale and have it just be about the characters and how they interact with the setting. Also not a trilogy, but I love it anyway.
Up until this year, it was only a trilogy, I think.
Yeah.
Or maybe last year officially.
I love it. And if it was just ending at Trip to Spain with like a dark, dour ending out of nowhere, I would adore it. It would be great. I haven't seen Trip to Greece yet.
I haven't either.
I think it would be fun to see something outside of that, like, you know, Western sphere, and just Julie Delpy and a wonderful comedic character actor go to a different locale. Maybe Julie Delpy can do a movie with Bailey, and she and Bailey Joe can wander around together.
Yeah. There you go.
But yeah, one of my favorite trilogies is A Dog's Purpose, A Dog's Journey, and A Dog's Way Home. I'm just kidding.
I was gonna say, oh my God,
I
please
don't
be
know what
joking
those
right now. You're gonna break my heart.
Are those even related?
I think they're all sequels, and they
I
all
only
came
saw
out
the
within a
first
year
one.
of each other.
And I never cried as much in a movie in my entire life.
Really?
Which one's the first one?
Josh Gad voices a dog who dies and gets
right.
And they just keep coming back and dying, coming back and dying.
It's like Groundhog Day, but with dead dogs.
Yeah, and who doesn't love
Right.
that? It's just heartwarming all around.
Yeah.
But you know, it remembers, and he gets back with his owner at the end, you know.
Is that Dennis Quaid?
Dennis
Yes,
Quaid,
it is.
yeah.
Dennis Quaid.
I remember the trailer.
Yeah, which they basically
It's like
show
that,
them over there.
What's that website? DoesTheDogDie.com?
Does the dog
It's
die?
thedogbetterdie.com.
Does the dog get
This dog.
physically abused during filming? Yes.
Wow.
No, ugh. It was,
There should be a companion series to that where Dennis Quaid's character keeps dying and getting reincarnated, and where Josh Gad does the voiceover for him.
They call it Happy Dennis Day.
Yeah. No, but I was going to say, so if we're going for like real trilogies, I love the Hobbit series unabashedly. I realize that there are problems with them and that they're bloated, but I love them anyway. And then I'm also a huge Star Wars nerd, no matter what. Not so much with the new trilogy, because Rise of Skywalker is not the best movie. But I grew up watching the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy, you know, like interchangeably. And one of the things that I think is so exciting about like the way that George Lucas builds out his worlds in those movies is how each film introduces a totally new concept and a totally new facet of the world. Like in the prequel trilogy, we get pod racing in the first film, and like the giant feed power generator room, and like how the Jedi Council functions. And then in the sequel, we get like the cloning facilities and the gladiatorial arenas. And then in the next one, we get like this entire new like lava planet and the inner workings of like how the politics function in the world. And it's so cool. and like full on like proper battle sequences between characters. And it's like, oh, it's only taken us 6 movies to get to like, you know, an all-out war part of the Star Wars universe. So I really love those movies. And yeah, I will defend them until my dying day. Them and the Hobbit movies.
So do you like The Hobbit more than Lord of the Rings?
I don't. No. Lord of the Rings, I think, is a better trilogy.
Okay.
But you took Lord of the Rings. So I.
Well, I know, but
have to gush
I
over
had
the
to
Hobbit.
know. I had to know. I actually love Star Wars too. The first 3 especially, I grew up on those, like constantly watching. They're, you know, forever in my heart, and I defend them often too. So
Yeah.
There's a great bit in, and I haven't seen the extended versions for all the Hobbit movies, but I have the 3rd one extended on DVD for some
They
reason.
extended those even more.
Yeah. If you want a scene where Alfred of Lake Town gets catapulted into the mouth of a troll and eaten while Gandalf watches, then that's your movie.
that might be the best scene in all 3. Like, what the hell? I love
There's
the
a
extended
great-
Lord of the Rings. That's the only way to watch them. So
Yeah, it's funny because the Lord of the Rings extended ones, like, you know, flesh out the characters and add on like a bunch of nuances to the world and like deepen the relationships. And with the Hobbit movies, at least with the 3rd one, all the cut scenes are because they were too gory to put in the theatrical cut. So there's a scene where there's a whole like ice sled chase that got edited out. And the very beginning of that sequence, all the dwarves are riding with Bilbo in a sled that has giant metal spikes coming out of the wheels. And they take a ramp into 6 trolls standing perfectly in 2 lines side by side, and it just cuts right through their heads, and it's like the goriest thing. And then they have this big like ram chase on the ice, and it's amazing. So
A children's book too.
just as J.R.R. Tolkien,
A very
would have
very
wanted.
small children's book too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That they
I have to throw out, because Manon, our founder, starter of Film Inquiry, if she had been on, she was going to talk about The Matrix. So I just want to throw that out there. A lot of people kind of shit on the 3rd movie a lot. But it is and now it's going to be a 4th, but let's just pretend that hasn't, I don't even know what that's going to be. That's just,
coronavirus.
I don't know why it needs to happen, but you know, because it kind of finished the story. But yeah, no, that's a trilogy. Like, even though I think the first movie, honestly, on its own, could have just happened and would have been terrific, they do flesh out a lot of interesting details, a lot of details in the 2nd and 3rd movie. So I didn't know if that was a series that anyone liked. I want to give cred to it for her.
I really enjoy Matrix 2 and 3, Reloaded and Revolutions. I mean, they came out at a time where I was 13 years old, and so I was so excited to see those both opening weekend in the year they came out. And then, like, you know, years later, I saw their many flaws. But then I've kind of come back around to saying, you know, I enjoy them. It's like, I would say I enjoy those. Those are like, what am I trying to say? Those like do their big ideas for me better than the Star Wars prequels. Those I can't abide by. I'm sorry to say, Clement, but the Matrix Reloaded and Revolutions, I think there's a lot of fun stuff in there that I do enjoy rewatching. Yeah, good pick, Manon.
There's even
And
a really
Matrix
great
is,
scene.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Jake. You
No,
got about the
I was
Matrix.
just gonna say that just the first one is just a perfect movie.
It is.
I can't dispute that. But sorry, Clement, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say that I know that everybody loves the highway chase from the 2nd movie, but for me, it's the fight with like the vampire werewolf people in that big like ornate
In the chateau with the weapons on the wall.
with who's that actor? Lawrence somebody who plays the Frenchman.
The Merovingian.
Oh, the Merovingian.
Yeah.
It's
he played Cousteau at one point. I don't remember what his name is.
He's coming back for the 4th one too. Interesting.
Oh, good. He's really wonderful in
They
that
didn't
movie.
kill him, yeah.
And I love that entire like fight in the castle. I think that's so well staged. And it's like right out of a Chinese martial arts movie. Everybody's just flying around. It's great stuff. And then in the third movie, that super intense scene when all the robots are raining down from the sky and the one guy's in his like armor suit and he keeps firing and the poor guy has to lug his ammo back and forth. That is such a harrowing scene and I adore it so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the kid makes it. The one that's lugging the ammo back and forth.
Makes himself like into a tight ball on the back of that guy's mech suit and they all just go past him. I want to give a shout out to the upgrades fight in Reloaded, where he fights those 3 agents who are noticeably bulkier than the last movie, and they have he goes upgrades, and then they have the little fight in like the storeroom or whatever. That was fun.
No, there's some good stuff in those. I love them. So I agree. Another one too is the Dark Knight trilogy. I love the Dark Knight trilogy. All 3. I often get into it with some people about Dark Knight Rises. I love Dark Knight Rises. I don't think it's the best one of the 3, but I love it. I think it's, in a way, it's almost like more of an emotional one. So it's almost like, even though I recognize the second movie, The Dark Knight, as being the best, I think The Dark Knight Rises just has a lot of, I don't know, like it's almost sentimental to me in a way. But I love that story, and I love him coming back, and Tom Hardy's a beast in that movie. I'm not going to do my Bane impression. Normally I would. But I'm not going to do that to you guys. But no, I think that's another trilogy that's just, it ends perfectly. And it's obviously Christopher Nolan is a amazing director. So I have to give shout out to that as well.
I think Batman Begins might be my favorite of the 3.
Really?
Just because Bale's Batman voice is not as ridiculous as Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises.
Leave Bale's Batman voice alone. Why does everyone always have to do
It's
very
very
rude. It's intense.
Yeah. I like it's just kind of it's more understated in Begins, It's
because it's beginning. It's just beginning. He's not really he hasn't fully embraced the low gruff-ness of it.
Yeah.
I also just wonder if that's just what Christian Bale sounds like when he yells at someone on set.
Oh.
Well, he just goes into his full, I think he's Welsh. His accent just comes out. Yeah. I'll throw out, that's exactly right. I'll throw out another trilogy that I love. Romero's Living Dead trilogy.
Yeah.
And of course it has like 5 other films after it. Like, I do really like Land of the Dead though. I think that one's great. But yeah, Night of the Living Dead is a perfect like trailblazer, both in horror film and in social commentary. Dawn of the Dead is just also a lot of fun. Probably the one I've seen the most. And Day of the Dead I used to hate, but I've actually come around on. I think that one works really well. Most noticeably, I think the makeup effects have just improved so much in Day of the Dead. Like I really love the opening sequence of just the zombies shuffling around Florida, and the first guy that pops up has like his jaws hanging open and split open, and then Day of the Dead pops up over his face. That's fun.
I think the best thing about Romero's movies is the social commentary aspect of it, and then he really was interested in the evolution of these zombies, and what it is like for them. And I don't really know too many other franchises that have gone down that route.
Yeah.
Like, I can't really think of any. It's always like us against them, and he really wanted to convey like working with force. And God, I love him so much.
Yeah, because the first they're just mindless monsters, and then in Dawn they're kind of shuffling back to things they're familiar with, and then you got Bub in Day of the Dead. And then Land of the Dead, it even has the mechanic zombie who like leads an army against the city. So I want to go rewatch all these right now.
Land of the Dead walked so Parasite could run.
I think horror usually has the best trilogies, I'd say, like generally.
Except they go beyond
Or-
trilogy for a lot of them, unfortunately.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's some great thematic horror trilogies, like Argento's Suspiria, Inferno trilogy, and there's the Carpenter Apocalypse trilogy with In the Mouth of Madness, The Thing, and Prince of Darkness. That's probably one of my favorites. I love all three of those movies.
I need to see In the Mouth of Madness.
That might be my favorite Carpenter. That is such a great.
Interesting.
Yeah, that or Escape from New York. Those are the two that I really, really love.
Escape from New York is amazing.
I adore The Thing.
Yeah. The Thing is, The Thing's a
Yeah,
classic,
The Thing,
but
of course.
Prince of Darkness is really strong too.
Oh yeah, that is such a claustrophobic movie.
Oh, yeah.
That whole movie.
Yeah.
And the effects are always so good in all of his movies. But like it's not super realistic, but it doesn't feel like cheesy. I don't know.
Yeah.
He does it really well.
Yeah.
With the Mothers trilogy, I feel like I've talked about it every time. But yeah, out of all those, I think Inferno is the strongest. Because it's that really sweet spot of Argento of like his style, but also it makes sense. But I hate Mother of Tears. Like,
That's why I mentioned it.
why would you put your daughter in a movie where she's like fully nude? And why do you hate women so much, Argento?
I wish we could just swap it for like opera or like something better. Like,
Yeah.
Opera's better.
Opera's
love
great.
Opera's fantastic.
Opera's amazing.
The set piece where the revolver goes through the peephole, that is like one of the best things that he's ever shot. Love that.
It's just way too sadistic for me. I can't.
That's why I love it.
Go with it.
You don't like the pins taped underneath the eyeballs?
Oh,
Now I know why you only like 2 and 3 for Evil Dead. That makes more sense now.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the tree scene.
The
is
tree
the-
scene.
Oh yeah.
It's regrettable, but 1 is actually my favorite of all of them.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
I think Evil Dead 2 is my least. I might like the Evil Dead remake more than
Evil Dead remake
Oh,
is
interesting.
Wow, them's fighting
Yeah.
words.
The remake is solid.
yeah.
And I think we talked about
We
this.
did. We talked about it on the remake episode.
Yeah, because it understands its roots. Oh no, roots.
Unintended.
But yeah, no.
It doesn't go there though. At least doesn't
The remake?
it doesn't bring the
remake.
tree. Does it?
Yeah, it
It
does.
looks like a slug.
It's a tree
It's
slug
like
that
yeah.
it's what supposedly possesses her is the origin.
So
There's
it's
a
the
scene
same
where
type of
Yeah.
like tree rapage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's in there.
What's funny is listening to the commentary
understand
of that movie with it's 2 dual ones with Sam Raimi and then a different one with Bruce Campbell, and they're both like, well, you gotta have some cheesecake when there's like the millisecond of a topless scene, and it's like, all right, well, you gotta do something that shocks. That's why we got this scene.
Yeah.
And the 70s were wild. Yeah.
Speaking of Bruce Campbell,
Yeah.
one of my favorite trilogies that's not a movie trilogy are the first 3 seasons of Fargo.
Oh,
I could just watch forever on
soon to be a season 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are
Yeah,
really
excited.
good. Love those shows.
I held off on Fargo for so long just because I was like, why would you make a show out of this near perfect movie? And then I gave it a shot. I'm like, oh, this is amazing.
Exactly what I did. I was
Yeah.
like a defendant.
I still
of
need
the
to watch
movie.
it.
Yeah, it take the dive. The first episode alone would make like a perfect short film.
Yeah.
But
Philip
the fact that
Ford
it keeps
is so
going is
good in that.
great.
First
Oh.
season. He's so
Oh
good.
my
He has
God.
so many awesome moments. I love it. Now it's making me want to rewatch it.
Yeah. Oh,
There's
Billy
that
Bob.
Carrie Coon-centric episode in season 3 where she goes out to LA to investigate and encounters the Santa Con. And I've gone back to just watch that episode out of context like so many times. And I think it's legitimately one of the best episodes of television ever made. I love
I
it
love
so
Carrie
much.
Coon.
It's
Just to put that out there.
Rob
So-
McElhaney from It's Always Sunny is in that episode.
Right. And the guy
Yeah.
from Twin Peaks also shows up.
Yeah, Ray Wise.
Yeah,
There-
Leland.
There's a trilogy that no one has mentioned that I'm really surprised about. The
Oh,
Dollars
is it?
trilogy.
Oh,
I have
yes.
the Man with No Name trilogies, another one of my consolations.
Yeah.
Also great.
Fistful of Dollars, For a Few Dollars More, Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Yeah.
Correct. Those I love. I think with Leone, a lot of it gets overshadowed with Once Upon a Time in the West is my favorite film of his, and probably like in my top 5 movies ever made. But yeah, those three are really good.
Mm.
What
I
are
think
your favorites?
For a Few Dollars More is my favorite, Leon.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Bayla. What are my favorites of the 3?
Mhm.
I would probably say For a Few Dollars More as well, just for Lee Van Cleef.
Yes. Yeah.
He's great. I know he's not in Good, Bad, and the Ugly as much, which is kind of disappointing. But that's still a fantastic movie. It's
Mhm.
more about the ugly though. But yeah, Lee Van
Yeah.
Cleef is great.
Yeah.
You have a favorite, Bailey?
The same. I'm so happy. I've never met anyone else who likes the second one the most.
Well, we have a lot of. I'm noticing there's like a lot of middle entries, the favorites, which seldom happens in trilogies because you either have the first one comes out the gate is strong, or actually I don't know many people who would say the third one is their favorite. Is there any trilogy out there? Here's a question: is there
Army
any
of
trilogy?
Darkness.
Okay,
Yeah.
there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other trilogies where the third is your favorite?
Before
Lord
the
of the
whole
Rings.
Myers thing gets introduced, of the first 3 Halloween movies, the third one's my favorite by far.
Season of the Witch is great.
Season of the Witch
I
is
will
great.
defend that movie forever.
Yeah.
I
The Lord
thought
of the Rings.
Jackass 3 was good.
Yeah.
That works.
Yeah, it's fun. It's very HD.
hmm Those are really fun movies. I'm glad they're in the canon.
They're
I'm
in the
glad there's a
Criterion
space for
collection? Oh, good.
Yeah.
The Jackass movies, I mean, you can call it lowbrow all you want. I've seldom laughed harder back to back to back watching those movies.
Yeah.
Good times.
With films in that style, there's the Sasha Baron Cohen political trilogy, if you want to call it The Dictator, Borat, and Bruno. And I think all 3 of those movies are really solid, where he takes like some part of like American westernized politics and just makes fun of it. And I think he does a really great job with all 3. I don't know if you guys have seen those.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I've seen them. I remember when I saw Bruno, I didn't like it. I don't know why. I guess I should watch it again. But of course, Borat. Out of this world.
I actually
Apparently,
know Who is America. I don't know if anyone's
That show is great, yes.
it's really good, but also kind of sad because it just shows so many people's nature. Just like that's what he does, you know.
Yeah, that's what he did with Borat, where he got some random rodeo people to say that they hate gay people because he said that Borat was just going to be shown in Kazakhstan, and then it was like the #1 film in the box office, like because they didn't read the non-disclosure agreement when they
Or in
signed it.
Bruno, he gets Paula Abdul to sit on a person.
Yeah. And as she talks about how she thinks people are underprivileged and she wants to help them as she's sitting on like a labor worker. Like,
at the rodeo in Borat, my dad knew the announcer, the announcer guy, and he said that they literally had no idea what they were getting into.
He's sneaky, not to get like too serious, but he literally just went to a convention recently, dressed up and
like a rally.
Yeah. And I don't know how he still manages to do it, to be honest. I mean,
he's like so tall and distinct looking. How does he get away?
He's got a great makeup person.
Near my hometown.
Yeah. It's Isla Fisher, his wife. She just But I have to say, I don't know how anyone feels about the Back to the Future trilogy. I just picked this guy up. I'm pretty excited about it. It's the tower with the tower.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's for a little lighter fare in comparison to the last some of the ones other than Jackass and Sasha.
That is a great trilogy.
Yeah, it's funny because I don't know, like I actually like the third one better than the second one. I don't know if that's so weird.
I only like the first one, I think. Actually.
I don't
think
think it's weird to like the third one the most. It's
Mm.
it's
I don't know
I'd
about
say
the
it's
most,
super
but
super
more
fun.
than the second one. Yeah, I mean,
I just
the
watched.
first one was the best, I think.
I just watched all three like a month or two ago for the first time in years. I like them all, but each one is just a step down
Mhm.
from the previous one for me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I grew up only watching the second one. So when I watch the first one, I'm like a little bored because the second one basically is the first one too. It's
Mhm.
kind of like what's the Shakespeare thing? Guildenstern?
Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it kind
say
of
that
feels
3
like
times
that.
fast.
Yeah, and
Rosencrantz.
yeah, I'm always bored at the first when I watch the first one. I guess I like the
Rosencrantz
actress who
dead.
plays the girlfriend more in the second one too.
It's isn't it
Elizabeth
Elizabeth Shue?
The shoe, yeah.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
just change actresses.
Yeah.
I love
And-
the first one. The first one I think is the best.
Mhm.
I just had to bring it up because it is a trilogy. Actually, I like Matt
Yeah.
Reeves' new Planet of the Apes too. Trilogy.
Okay, there's one where I think the third one is far and away the best of the three. Because I was not crazy about Rise or Dawn, but whatever the War is my favorite. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of people running around in pine forests in the rain with guns. So Dawn of the Planet of the Apes,
Dawn is your favorite. Yeah.
a near perfect movie.
Yeah, that's fair.
Mhm.
One trilogy, it's no longer going to be a trilogy because they're working on 4 and 5 back to back. But I would say I love all 3 John Wick films equally. And
Yeah.
those are now just, I guess, with 4 and 5 coming up back to back, it's just a showcase to see how creatively can Keanu Reeves kill people for 100 minutes or 2 hours, which is fine by me. I'll keep coming back. So, and I'll see Matrix 4. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder how
Those
There's
are
a
fun
new-
movies because they're all
keep it up.
basically like the same.
Yeah.
They're all
Yeah.
interchangeable.
They're all, yeah.
There's-
Quality
Bro.
ones, I mean.
I'm excited for the new Keanu trilogy. It's going to be a trilogy with Bill and Ted because I love the first two.
Yeah, those are fun. A lot of fun. I think I mentioned this probably even last episode, but I like Bogus Journey.
Oh, same. I like
more
it
than
more.
excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you say something, Kristy? I think you have a question about John Wick or?
No, I was just saying that I wonder how long I just wonder if we'll have like John Wick 10.
Until that man breaks, I will keep going back.
I don't know.
He's beautiful.
It'll be like going back to the Future 2 when they're in the future, they're seeing like the 15th Jaws movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Mhm.
Or
Yeah, and he'll
But
look-
Jaws
instead-
18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone loves Keanu. We actually talked about him quite a bit in the last one, right? Was that the last one where he kept coming up in all of our birth years?
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah. Him and Arnold have
Yes.
just make up our childhoods. And
Was
you
there
know
a
what?
Keanu? I'm trying to think.
I'm
Is there a
sorry?
Keanu movie when you were born, Hayden? The year you were born?
I can check. Let me check.
Well, let me see.
Yeah, see, you should have been there last time because we're all like roughly the same like decades.
Oh yeah, I can check.
I hope it's
Clement
the Lake
wasn't either.
House. I hope you're that age.
Did you just turn 17 or are you turning 18 later this year?
Matrix Reloaded.
That's
was
the
Oh.
Matrix
when I was
trilogies
born.
came out. Yeah.
That was the year I was born.
There
For
you
me,
go.
mine
Reloaded.
is The Devil's Advocate.
Oh my God, that's so
Oh my
awesome.
God.
Something's
When
gotta
did that
give.
come out? 97?
97, yeah.
I
Yeah, both.
watched that in 99 when I was like 8 years old with my dad.
A 400
Why would he let me watch that with him?
Billy Joe.
You know,
Yeah,
that movie
both
is
of the
fun.
Matrix sequels. On the topic of trilogies, both of the Matrix sequels came out when the year I was born.
There you
We
go.
also did in 1997 The Last Time I Committed Suicide, it's called. Directed by Stephen T. K.
That's a
And
very I know
starring
who killed
Adrian
me
Brody.
title.
Yeah.
What a bizarre movie. I never heard of this, ever.
Speaking of the Matrix, how often does it happen where the sequels come out the same year? I don't think I've ever seen that before.
It's never. It's like it's because they shot him back to back.
Yeah.
That was
Did
the
they just
plan.
shoot it as one like cohesive?
Yeah, they filmed
like,
them together.
Shoot. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
They filmed them all together.
Was it gonna be a sequel and they just split it because it was too long, or do you know, or was it always gonna be two?
I think the Wachowskis wanted to make. They just had a story for 3 films, and after the first one took off, they were able to shoot 2 and 3 back to back.
Oh.
And because the first one was just such a mega hit, and so they spent the next 4 years working on it. So, then they released them 6 months apart. It was really exciting to see back in the day. I remember getting stoked for teaser trailers for like you would just see like glimpses of like the twins shooting things on the highway, and like, oh, there's Neo, and what are they gonna do? And because like at the very end of the Matrix, he flies away, and so you're
That Rage
wondering
song
what's gonna
plays,
happen.
and it's so badass.
Come on, yeah.
Yeah, wake
Yeah.
up. Yeah.
We are with it.
Yeah, as far as trilogies and my birth, I was actually named after Hayden Christensen, believe it or not.
Oh,
My
wow.
middle name
Wow.
Do you hate sand?
is Christopher. Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
because my middle name's Christopher, so Christensen. Yeah.
Okay.
If anyone
Very
remembers
nice.
that awesome line about him hating sand, I had to make that joke.
Yeah.
Which line? Oh, the
The
sand.
Sand
Oh,
line, Jake.
yeah,
Yes.
of
The
course.
line in
Everybody
the
knows
sand.
this.
I actually like that film, and that whole dynamic between the two of them. I think it's nice.
I love
Yeah.
looking at Hayden Christensen.
That's most of the
I
reason why
would,
he's
yeah.
cast, presumably.
I mean, I just watched the prequels like in a row for the first time, and I enjoyed them because I was also doing other things as I watched them. But like, yeah, I love him in that. He's so cute and dead. What an amazing person to be named after. I'm so jealous.
Poor Hayden Christensen too, because he gets stuck on a entirely green screen set and told to imagine like
Right.
a Star Wars universe around him that's going to be put in post.
I'm so glad that people kind of
And then
like,
just the hate he got from fans.
forgave Robert Pattinson. Like, I'm glad people kind of like were able to like he was able to have a career after like Twilight. That's the same thing where they were kind of just like picked on for like years.
Right.
No, people were too hard on Hayden Christensen for sure. A lot of the issues I think with that was writing anyway. A lot of problems.
Yeah, anybody reading those lines is gonna sound wooden. So, it's Star Wars fans are cruel.
Yeah,
What's the
they're
thing
awful.
with
Like even Ewan
what's the
McGregor,
thing
like
with everyone?
some of his
Sorry.
lines are too bad, and he's amazing. And it's like,
Yeah, and
Yeah,
they bullied Jake Lloyd and Ahmad Best into
yeah.
suicidal states of
Unforgivable.
depression. What was your question, Bailey?
No, wasn't it every time Obi-Wan had fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi like had to say younglings, he couldn't stop laughing, and that's why he was like,
Yeah. That scene with
That's why he's
Padme? Yeah.
stroking his mustache during the scene.
Well, he also in Phantom Menace, apparently when they would shoot the lightsaber scenes, he would make like the noises with his mouth, which they had to cut out. Which is also
Laura
like
Dern did that too.
Laura Dern saying "pew" when she shoots the gun in Last Jedi. So, yeah.
it's all back
Dang.
there.
Is there any other trilogies we want to cover?
Indiana Jones is one.
I was gonna say
Yeah, that
It's
was
not a trilogy anymore.
They only made
though.
the 3 films. No, you're wrong.
No, there was no fourth. Mm-mm. There's no alien skull.
okay.
No Shia
Alternative
LaBeouf.
facts.
Did you say there's no
See-
Alien?
Alien
Aliens
skull.
4? Oh, okay. I see.
No. No.
Indiana Jones 4: Alien Resurrection.
Pretty much.
It's
I like Temple of Doom. It's an underrated
Me too.
middle film. I like it when it goes dark.
it's a fun one. It's weird. It's when I was a kid, I liked that one the best, and getting older, I like the Lost Ark. Lost Ark. Yeah.
Raiders.
Raiders
Last
of the
Crusade?
No,
Okay.
actually, I love the Last Crusade as well too. I think the dynamic with him and
I-
Three is
yeah.
awesome. Super fun.
Yeah.
I don't know which
I
one I
think
like
they're all
more of 1 and 3. I think that's usually the argument. I think I like 3 the most actually.
I would say just 1 overall is the most best, but the traversing to get the the Holy Grail section of the third film might be the best filmmaking Spielberg's done in that trilogy. Yeah, I remember The Leap of Faith blowing my mind as a kid. It's just fun times.
Yeah.
Right, and picking the right one at the end.
Yeah.
Right.
You like to think you would have made the same decision. You wouldn't have went for the
Yeah,
one.
it's like yeah, obviously that's
Obviously.
the cup of Christ. Yeah.
I would have picked the plate in the,
The plate,
background.
just the big plate.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
I'm surprised no one mentioned the Cornetto trilogy.
Oh, I forgot about the
Yes, that is a good one. What's your
I
favorite?
like Hot Fuzz the best. Hot Fuzz is my favorite.
Yeah. Same.
I can watch that over and over again. And then I like the other two like about equally. But I think they're very, very strong movies.
I'm a big World's End fan because I'm a sci-fi guy, and I think that of the three, that's the one that has the most heart to it. The other ones are like exceptional comedies, and they're really well edited. But
Yeah.
I think for my money, World's End has a lot going on character-wise that I totally vibe with.
Yeah, isn't he like in therapy in the beginning? Like his character is really depressed.
Oh, he's definitely going through a lot of shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know a person who's exactly like Gary King, so it's very like
close to home.
And he just gets to do whatever he wants.
No, I love World's End, but Shaun of the Dead is kind of project to me at this point, so it's like hard to not like say I love that one the most. But Hot Fuzz I love too. That's great call on the mention.
Yeah.
And I said what?
I'm just gonna improve my lighting I'll step away for 1 second. Hold on.
Bye, Jake.
Yeah, so Jake's out.
Jake's
I was
out.
gonna say that
Godfather.
The sun is setting faster than I anticipated.
That does happen. I was just gonna say to go back to The Godfather. I mentioned it at the beginning. That's the first two movies to me are some of the best filmmaking. Best films.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And that's one that's a common. People love the second one better, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
I thought that was weird, but that's a common one. I think I'm like the odd person out that I actually love the first one. It's hard to say that I like it more, but it's just like a little bit more, and it's just because I love seeing the transition of Michael, because it's so different from beginning to end. But I love obviously the young with Robert De Niro and everything. But and also the third movie doesn't get as much love as the first two, but I think that it has a really good kind of ending, like a tie-in for his character.
It's mostly because of Sofia Coppola's acting, right? Because I have actually never seen it.
Yeah, which is not very good.
Yeah. My dad is like Italian man, and so he loves those movies. And he told me, Bailey, don't ever watch that third one. We don't talk about the third one.
No, it's got a lot of issues, but I think the arc of his character makes sense. But yeah, she's not very good, unfortunately, as an actress in that movie, but what are you gonna do? So yeah, we covered a lot of awesome trilogies.
Yeah, we did.
I still have a few more on my little list. Yeah.
Trilogies. Rattle them off?
Yeah, rattle them.
The Millennium Trilogy from like The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I think those are really
Fire and Hornet's Nest.
Yeah, I watched those. They were on Netflix at the time before I knew the Fincher one and before I read the books. So I really liked those. And then the Aladdin animated trilogy, Return of Jafar, Prince King of Thieves. Loved those as a kid. I think they're all solid. I remember being very distinctly like, wait, they're not married yet? Because in the third one, they're getting married. And they have a whole song about it. And yeah, Return of Jafar was big for me as a kid because it was heartbreaking seeing Iago trying to be good and no one trusting him. And that like broke my heart. And then the Rugrats trilogy movie. The Rugrats movie, Rugrats in Paris, and Rugrats Go Wild with a crossover with the Wild Thornberrys.
Yeah.
as
Right.
my husband likes to say, the one where the babies accept death.
Isn't that because the rights were gonna revert or something on Wild? I don't remember. Oh, my friend was telling me something about this. I should have paid attention.
I like, in terms of like solid trilogy, they're all really good, because the Rugrats was a great show, and I feel like bringing new characters on like Timmy, and then crossing over with another beloved Nickelodeon show, I thought they were all pretty strong. Like Debbie with Angelica was really great, because I never liked Debbie. and I never liked Angelica, but seeing them together, I was like, I'm in.
I've never seen the movies. I love the show, and I've never seen the sequels to Aladdin. I think I actually avoided them.
The third one isn't that bad. I watched it recently. It's a really like tight bookend to the whole series. Like they end with doing the Arabian Nights song, and on virtually the same shot that we open, like in the desert, the wide shot with the rolling dunes. It's really pretty poetic and nice.
Maybe
it goes more into like the actual like Arabian Nights like stories, because it's all about his dad and all that kind of mythology with it. I think like in terms of like a straight trilogy, beginning, middle, end, they work.
And the villain in Aladdin 3 has like the most unnecessarily like gruesome death ever.
I just remember his claw.
He gets turned into solid gold and then falls into the water and drowns.
It's what she deserved.
Oh my God.
That's fun.
Yeah, that is fun. It's kid friendly.
Yeah. All right. Well,
there's always gruesome deaths in kids' movies. It's so we can learn.
Right.
That's right.
When
you die, it's gonna be horrible, and you're gonna have nightmares about.
You're gonna be.
Speaking of that, have you guys seen the Death Trilogy by Gus Van Sant, Jerry, Elephant, and Paranoid Park? Because those are some really good dark movies. That
isn't Last Days the one of the
Last Days? Yes, not Jerry, not Jerry.
No, Jerry is one. Paranoid Park is not the one.
Is it?
Yeah, it's Elephant, Jerry, Last Days. I've not seen Last Days, but Jerry is excellent.
I really like Elephant. That film is really hard to watch, but it's really great. They all have like very, like almost like cardboard characters. Like it's not really about the characters; it's all about this like kind of experience. And they're really great dramas. They're all pretty tightly compact. I think like 90 minutes for most of them. I would check those out.
Yeah,
I haven't seen any of those. I just know that Last Days. I remember reading reviews of it, and it's just like, yeah, if you're a fan of Kurt Cobain, you probably might not like this.
I think maybe some people were expecting a straight biopic, and that's obviously not what it was going to be. But all right, well, shall we move on to trivia? Jake Tropila's trivia trove of trivia. Trovia.
All right, worked out.
Here we are. So most of us are returning, but for the benefit of Hayden and any new listeners, I will, of course, read off the rules. I will ask 10 film and TV-related questions to the group. The first person to say the correct answer will earn a point. The person with the most points at the end of the game wins. In the event that there's a tiebreaker will become available. Are there any questions? All right, let us begin. And of course, since I do make these kind of thematic, we may have mentioned some things that will come up later, but we'll see how that goes. Anyways, question number 1. According to them, what are Bill and Ted's full names?
I have no idea.
Bill S. Preston and Theodore Logan.
Correct. I'm going to give you the points. It's Bill S. Preston Esquire and Ted Theodore Logan.
I'll take half a point, Jake. I feel bad taking the full one.
No, I'll give you a full point. You get a point. All right, here we go. Question number 2. Which city does The Wire take place in?
Baltimore.
Boston.
Correct for Bailey.
I just started watching The Wire, like
I've
in the
never
last
seen
2
it.
weeks, so I'm very excited about this.
Terrific.
Very good show. Nothing to do with trivia trilogies. Again, TV is hard, but I like to mix TV in there. So, all right. Question number 3. Which cardinal direction is not represented by a witch on screen in The Wizard of Oz?
Which of the north?
South?
Oh,
Who said
yeah.
that? Is that Hayden?
I said south.
Yes, that is correct. Hayden gets a point. Yeah, south. We do not see Glinda is the witch of the north. Witch of the east is under the house, and
Mm-hmm.
Witch of the west is the villain. But yes, we never see a southern witch. What would she sound like? I don't know. All right. Question number 4. Which side of the family did Alice come from in the Brady Bunch?
The male side.
Correct. Bailey gets another point. She was with the men before they got married.
What's the dad's name?
Mike Brady.
The dad?
Yeah.
Ah.
Mike Brady? Yeah.
He saved all their lives one time when they were filming.
He did?
Yeah, they were at an amusement park and the camera
Oh, right.
was
The
set up,
rig. Yeah.
and he was like, no, and it
That's right. They threw it in the ocean.
hero.
All right. Yeah. All right, here we go. Question number 5. What is the name of the demon in The Exorcist?
Azuzu.
Correct. Another point for Clement. Wow. Very fast on that one. All right.
Very fast.
Question number 6. On the IMDb top 250 for television, what is
Breaking
the number
Bad?
1 show? No.
The Wire.
No.
Mad Men.
No. I will not be surprised if nobody gets this. It,
The Sopranos.
no. I'll throw in a hint. It's a documentary series.
Band of Brothers?
No.
Documentary now.
That's a fiction. No.
Ken Burns.
And it
Vietnam
hurts.
War.
It is not a Ken Burns joint.
Dang.
All right. Any guesses, Kristy? No?
I
All
said
right.
Planet Earth, but I don't.
Planet Earth?
Oh.
If they made a sequel, what would it be called?
Planet Earth 2.
Correct.
Oh no.
Should I
I was
award a
gonna-
point for that one?
That's pretty crazy.
I won't take it.
No, you can
She
have
can have it.
No, you.
All right, I'll give it to Hayden. Planet Earth 2 is, in fact, the highest rated TV show on IMDb. So, all right. Question number 7. In the first 3 Scream films, how many people portray Ghostface?
4. I don't know.
5.
Six.
Kristy got it. It's 5.
5.
The last one.
5
The
people.
third one only has one.
One person, yeah. That's
Oh
correct.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Question number 8. Name the 3 actors who have portrayed Lisbeth Salander as an adult.
Mara
Naomi
Rapace and
Rooney Mara.
yeah, Rooney Mara, Numi
Don't know
Rapace,
the new
and
girl.
oh my god, I know it.
Who can get number 3?
Don't know.
She was the queen.
Claire Foy.
Yeah, Claire Foy.
All right,
Is it?
now I'm gonna.
Is that right?
So yes, that is
Oh.
that is correct. Clement chimed in, but he did not say the other 2. But then
Nah.
Kristy did say Claire Foy. I'm gonna give the point to Kristy. Guys, we are all tied up. Everybody has 2 points. This is amazing. Hayden's got 2, Clement's got 2, Bailey's got 2, Kristy's got 2. So this is exciting. This is, I think, the
Game.
closest game we've ever had. All right, here we go. This one's gonna be fast. Question number 9. The 3 colors in Kieslowski's trilogy are based off of what?
The French flag.
French flag.
Correct. Yeah, couldn't be helped. Hayden earns another point. Do you know what each of the colors means?
Is this a bonus question?
No.
No. Yeah,
like
let's make
the
it
order.
let's make it a bonus point. Can you name what the 3 colors mean?
Like in order? Like the order of them? Or?
No, not the order, but like what they stand for.
I don't know.
So, all right. Blue is liberty, white is equality, and red is fraternity. All
Is that the
right.
actual French flag? Like
That
with
is the actual.
actual-
That is the
okay.
actual. Yep. It's the
I
blue.
thought
and
red
white.
was for the blood of angry men.
It's for
In-
brotherhood, I believe.
In the for the American flag, the white is supposed to stand for innocence.
Cool.
That's
Stupid.
not true
No,
anymore.
that's no, it's not.
All
Screwed
right.
that one up.
All right. Here, question number 10. What is the name of the hospital in the Naked Gun trilogy?
And I actually almost thought of the Naked Gun trilogy. Why the hospital?
Anyone? What?
I don't think I've seen those.
I haven't
What did you say,
seen-
Kristy?
I said, why the hospital? Like, why the? It's just interesting.
Because the answer is hilarious.
um,
I haven't seen it, Jake. I'm sorry.
I haven't
okay.
seen any of them.
I can say he's what is it? His name is Frank Draven. That's
His
all I
name
got.
is Frank Driven. At one point, he goes to the hospital. What is the hospital called? There's a sign on the front of the building. It says,
Not a hospital. I don't
"Well,
know.
think about that. Think about those films. What is the humor? What would it make sense to say?"
Hospital.
Correct. It's just called The Hospital. It's one of the funniest sight gags in that movie.
It's been a while
Amazing.
since I've seen those.
Guys, all right. We have a tie. My dog's coughing. We have Kristy and Hayden are tied with 3 points.
Oh.
Bailey and Clement, guys, great job. You both tied with 2 points for second. So everyone did fantastic. But of course, that brings us to the tiebreaker. This is for Kristy and Hayden only. Your tiebreaker for the win is, what is Ash's full name in Evil Dead? I think Bailey knows it.
Bailey's freaking out.
I don't know why this is.
I haven't, me neither. It's eluding me, but I definitely know.
I don't know. Trovia.
Anybody
always
know
puts-
just his last name?
I don't know.
No?
Well, no. Williams.
Williams is correct. His name is Ashley Joanna Williams.
Ashley Joanna.
Yeah.
Yes. So
I
it's
just
like
I
a
just
half
found
a.
out. Yeah, I just found out about the Joanna. I always knew Ashley J. Williams, but I guess
I love that it's Joanna. That's
it's. I mean, I
amazing.
guess they just wanted to have the girliest name possible. But Kristy, you pulled it off. You are now the champion.
Oh my
Congratulations.
God.
I don't know how. My brain
I
hurts
mean,
today.
yeah.
You're like, what's the sequel to
You just-
Planet Earth? And I'm just like, I don't know. I won this one.
I,
Yeah, but no, great job, everybody. That was a lot of fun. Hayden, this is your first one, but you did excellent,
Yeah.
man.
Hey,
Good
Yeah.
job.
Valiant.
Kudos.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, yeah. I'll turn it over to Kristy to sign us off.
Yeah, no, it's as always super fun. It's always great, especially to have someone new on, see someone for the first time. You know, we communicate all online, and so it's great to see your faces and interact, and it's just fun. It's good times, just talking about movies. And yeah, so thanks everybody for joining, and I hope many of you will come back. We do this every other week, so plenty more to come, and I think we even have our next topic coming up that we'll have to drop in an email soon. And anyone watching, thank you for watching. Feel free to, if you're watching the live premiere, to say your favorite or worst trilogies that you want. And yeah, just thanks again. We love everyone. Hope everyone's safe, and
Yeah.
have a good night or day.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, audience.
Bye.